So now we've gone from the beer shed to my shed, and at the beer shed, we actually just made sure that everything plumbed up okay. We made sure that the gas worked and there was no leaks and all that sort of thing, but I think it's really worth just walking you through basically how the kit came together. And it did actually come together thanks to the guys at iKegger, because they do this stuff for a living. So we let them know what we wanted to do, and then they selected all the gear and worked out what would work the best for us. And there are a few different things that they kind of worked out when they discovered how thick the walls were of the fridge. So these beer taps, for example, they are significantly deeper. So they're longer in this threaded area than your regular beer taps, and that's to accommodate the nice thick walls of these ARB fridges. These little things here are your CO2 canisters with this nice little dial on the end here, so that you can turn your beer pressure up or down. And these little canisters will do quite a bit of beer actually. I think they'll do 10 or 15 litres of beer. The way these kegs work, pretty damn simple. Gas goes in here, and you can tell it's a gas fitting because they've got these little notched fittings here, and beer comes out the top, and plumbing it all up is really quite simple with these little lock-in fittings. One of the things that you really need to consider is drilling your 12 volt fridge. So I've actually had a chat to the engineers at ARB and said, okay guys, if I was to drill a hole in your fridge, where could I do it safely? And they've given me some very specific parts to drill where I'm not going to damage anything. And the last thing you want to do is to punch through your cooling fins or any important electrical parts of your fridge. The other thing is too, you may not want to have holes in your fridge or be running beer taps permanently, and for me that's pretty easy because I can simply throw some little bungs in there later on. You could even, if you really wanted to go to town, fill them up with silicone to continually have that nice insulation in there, and then you've got your old fridge back to normal. But at the moment I can't see like I'm going to be pulling these beer taps out at any time soon. Okay, so let's get into it. For this I've got a 22mm little drill bit here that's obviously got the hole sawing attachment on it, and I've already marked up exactly where I need to drill. Okay, now it's just time to throw our tap in. You can see here that I've gone for two different taps so that I can have two different types of beer, a nice dark and a pale, but obviously you could just go with one tap if you liked. Now, just before you actually start pouring your beer, you've got to make sure that you've got a reasonable adjustment on here. Now there's a little PSI meter here, and this meters how much CO2 goes in to pressurise your system. Our beer's already carbonated, so it's not going to need a whole lot, and the trick with these things is that you start low so that you're not blowing a whole heap of gas into your beer, and then you just gently wind it up as you need more. The other nice thing about these beer taps is that they've got a flow meter on them, so you can actually adjust how fast or how slow your beer needs to be poured. So when you get these two things right, and it might take a little bit of hit and miss until you nail it, you'll be pouring a beer just as good as any pub you've ever walked into. Here we go, it is the test, our first pour with our ARB fridge. Look at that, that is glorious. Oh my goodness. Life goals achieved, ladies and gentlemen. 2 beer taps in the back of my 4-wheel drive. I'm a very happy man. It's glorious.